Hello everyone and welcome back to the mdlove show. On today's episode I would like to focus on the duet between our Michael and his good friend Aiken, Hold My Hand. Today I am not going to tell you about the dry details of the duet, like how the collaboration happened, when and where they recorded the song, and where they have shot the music video, who directed it, etc. All those details are well documented all over the web. If you wish to know about that, you are welcome to use your favorite search engine and educate yourselves. Today I will talk about the music video and collaboration through the eyes of a believer. A few years ago I have found many clues in that video that I believe our Michael has planted in order to tell us that he is okay, he is here with us, and he told us that he escaped by using symbolic images in the Hold My Hand video, which many of them represents life. Before we dive into the symbols and clues of this music video, I would like to mention that I really enjoy watching Aiken defends our Michael in interviews and how he does not let shady reporters get away with talking negatively about Michael. I really appreciate him for that. That also makes me think that one of the main reasons he defends our Michael is because he knows he is alive, and most likely will watch that interview. He even mentioned it in an interview, saying that he believes that Michael is somewhere out there, probably in a costume, and when something like that comes out of someone like Aiken, he does not just believe, he knows for sure. So does a lot of people, but who cares about his crazy fans? So let us dive into the music video and all those clues I found that tells us the story of MJ's escape. The video begins with a kid yells, "Come back!" While people are gathering and releasing balloons into the air, as if they are wishing for Michael to come back, an impossible thing for a deceased human to do, unless he is not really dead, and his name is Michael Jackson. The man who the public believes can do anything including coming back from the dead, just because a child wished for it. Which reminds me of the movie Moonwalker, where the little girl was holding a star and wished Michael to come back, after the kids believed he was gone for good, and as you remember, Michael did eventually come back, and that little girl ran to him, and everyone was happy. And yes, life does not always have a happy ending like in the movies, however we are talking about Michael Jackson here, so really anything is possible. Now let's go back to the music video. In the next image we can see MJ's shadow on the wall, shadows symbolizing secrets. They also represent someone that wants to escape the limelight. In Michael's case I think that's understandable. At some point we are seeing a kid dressed in the Billie Jean outfit, with the jacket, the fedora, and of course the famous glove. He gives one more performance and then he goes to hide behind a red door. A red door has a very interesting meaning. A red door provides protection. In an old early American tradition, if a tired traveler needed a safe place to rest, he would search for a place with a red door. He would know that this place is where he can rest before he continues with his journey. A red door also means protection. This time it has a biblical meaning. In the Old Testament, the Hebrew children were instructed to rub blood on their doorstep so that the angel of death would pass over their home. Was Michael trying to tell us that he is escaping death? Are the stories of people wanting to get rid of him are true and he escaped in order to protect his life? I think it is true. Unfortunately we all know that a dead artist is worth more than a living one, and there are people who were very unhappy with what Michael knew about them, so I can see how escaping death was a must. Another interesting symbolic images were the roses that was seeing almost in the entire video. Roses represent life, and even more interesting, resurrection. Do you remember where we have seen roses before that video came out? And how it implied that our Michael will rise again. If you watch the clues in my highlights you know that I am referring to MJ's memorial, where they covered the casket with roses, which made some believer to think, why roses? When we know that MJ's favorite flower is the sunflower. At this point we all know that they were simply trying to say, the one you think is dead, will rise again. In the video we are seeing many symbolic images that means life, like water for example. At the end of the clip we can see a puddle of water on MJ's Hollywood star. In that puddle we can see a reflection of a palm tree. Water is also associated with birth. That image could mean that our Michael will be born again, will come to life again. Water also represents refreshment, which tells me that Michael desperately needed some time off from the stresses of his old life. In that puddle of water, we can also see a reflection of a palm tree. The palm tree represents victory, triumph, peace, and eternal life. The palm tree in ancient Egypt represented immortality. Do you remember that Michael said that he would like to live forever? At the very end of the clip we can see someone stepping on that puddle of water with the reflection of the palm tree that is located on MJ's Hollywood star, maybe to remind us of another very famous man in history that walked on water and believed to come back from the dead. Or maybe it means that the part of the King of Pop is over, and now comes the second part of Michael's life, which is what I believe is becoming the King of Film. You can read about my King of Film theory in my blog, the link is in my bio. There are so many images in that music video that either tells us that Michael is alive, mainly because of the many images that symbolizing life, or we can focus on that one very simple message. It's not a symbol or a clue. It is a piece of paper. Looks like a letter written in MJ's handwriting that simply says, "He hides those words alone should raise eyebrows." Wouldn't that make someone asks why in a video that comes out after the King of Pop is announced dead, we see that shows us a handwritten note with the words "he hides"? Why do we see a kid with the Billie Jean outfit hides behind a red door? Why do we see an airplane, roses, white balloons, church windows, and many more images that either represents life, or tells a story of someone trying to find peace, and he can only do that by hiding? I could talk about each and every one of the images shown in that video, but that will make this episode an hour long, and who has that kind of time? So I encourage you, whether you are a believer or not, to watch Hold My Hand again, and focus on the images, and try to understand what Michael was trying to tell us through that music video, and of course the song. My interpretation to both the song and the music video is that our Michael was laying the King of Pop to rest. He needed to escape the pressures that came with that title, so he could focus on other things, mainly his inner peace, also to move on to the next stage, which is creating films. Speaking of notes and films, you do know that Michael left a note saying he wants to create 40 films. Well, maybe the biopic we all can't wait to see is the last one of the 40 he wished to create. Or at least one of them. I hope we will have answers for that in the future. Near future. I am just a fan making a wish. So to sum up this episode, I believe Michael used Hold My Hand to tell us the story of his escape, and with the song he is asking us to go through this journey with him. Whatever happens, we will be here to hold his hand, and together we are all going to be alright. Thank you for watching the MD Love Show. See you in the next episode.